morning.
All right, we're going to jump into our 3-pack. So I want to just break down. I was thinking about this over the break of just what are some basic, simple things, especially for those of us that did not take any kind of business planning opportunities in Q4 of 2025, and just really just break it down and make it simple, because I read and write at the 3rd grade level. And so how I business plan and things like that are at the 3rd grade level. I just like to simplify everything to the best of my ability, so that I don't get overwhelmed. I mean, when we write these 10-page business plans, it takes me an hour just to go back and read them, right? So
Figure out what you did.
or what I'm not doing, right? Okay. So these are the 3 things that I am focusing on, I mean, literally January. And number 1, and this is, again, and I go through this every year, but if you do nothing else, just focus on going out and having conversations about real estate with anybody and everybody, family members, friends, bartenders, servers, baristas, anybody that you're having a conversation with. Learn how to create a conversation around real estate, because I'm no math major, but the more conversations that you have about real estate with people, the more money that you are going to make. And no one, it just occurred to me, if nobody knows what I do for a living, I'm not selling anything.
Yeah, Clint calls that the secret agent.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So no one's going to buy from you if they don't know what you do. And as you focus on these real estate conversations, know what's on people's minds and speak to it. Right now, I think what's on people's minds are, what are rates going down? When are rates going down? How's it going to affect me as a buyer or a seller? There's a lot of other things that are on people's minds, but know what's on their minds and speak to it. And then just set your daily, weekly, monthly goals. How many real estate conversations are you going to have a day? And then how many does that equate to every week? And then how many does that equate to every month and annually and so forth? And again, the more that you have, the more money that you're going to make.
You know, Mike, we never get a chance to see the rest of the slides. I want everybody to know that. So I don't know what's coming up on number 2, number 3, but here's something. You know, I think in number 1, the most important thing about real estate conversations is the 4th item: set daily, weekly, and monthly goals. I don't care if you get out of bed today, you go to the coffee shop, wherever you go, just find a reason to stop and say hello to somebody. And sometimes they'll even give you the introduction. They'll set you up to be able to have that conversation. But I love the premise of what we're talking about today. Keep it simple, right? And it's human nature to complicate everything. I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk this morning, and he's pretty crass and to the point. And one of the things on this particular issue is just, if you aren't getting to where you want to go right now, you can't continue. It's the old-fashioned thing. If you continue to do the same thing over and over, and expect different results, that's ridiculous. And so that's what you need to do. But imagine microeconomics. If you did one today and then one tomorrow, and if you just had one conversation through the whole year, that's 365 times. That's it. Out of the whole year, just one person you had a real estate conversation. I bet you do better this year than you did last year.
But I'd say, what if you had at least 10 or 20? Because when I'm talking about real estate conversations, it's people. It's taking a look at your thing. Just have real estate conversations with people. So I don't know whether we're still live, and
we are. This is the computer's.
Okay.
Something's not happy.
All right. So the other thing, and I may get fired for this. So this could be possibly the last Monday morning people hear my voice. I don't do direct deposit. Okay. I love good old fashioned taking the checks into the bank. And I can't tell you how many bank tellers and bank managers that I have that I'm working with and having conversations, because they're like, "Oh, what's this? What's USA?" And da 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 da. And next thing you know, I'm having real estate conversations with them.
That's all it really ends up being.
All right. So number 2, are we able to get to the next slide? I don't know.
I can't see him, so just keep talking.
All right. So the next one is really, it comes down to, if we're going to go out and have real estate conversations with everybody, it comes down to, and we talk about this all the time, is CRM management.
Yeah.
And so Generally, people start off really, really strong with CRM management, and then as the year goes on, it starts waning. The busier you get, the less time that you're spending in it. So, so the beginning of the year is the time to do a CRM audit. Go through all of your contacts in your CRM. Time block this every single day or 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays from 7:30 to 8:30 or whatever time period it is. I'm telling you, we leave more money on the table
gosh, we do.
because we are not leveraging our CRM. So make your CRM your best friend. Time block, but do a CRM audit. And then going back to point number 1, every real estate conversation that you have with people, you're going back in and putting it into your CRM.
Yeah, I mean, CRMs are an electronic version, obviously, of the old index card from the 50s and 60s and 70s. And the nice thing is it's unlike something that's in front of you that's tangible. If it's not constantly in front of you, you have a tendency not to pay that much attention to it. So, Mike, this is really important because this gives everybody an opportunity right now to go back. If you didn't get business from your CRM, it's not because the people aren't buying. It's not because they're not bumping into people that are interested in buying or selling real estate. It's because whatever it is that you're currently doing is not allowing you to reach the numbers you're trying to reach. It's not engaging with enough of those people. And when you do have those conversations, it's really important to put it in there because next time you go to have that a new conversation or a next conversation with that particular person, wouldn't it be nice to have a quick recap of what you just talked about the last time?
And it's also, I use our team uses Wise Agent. It's almost like a lead gen tool because I'm pretty good about my CRM management. But I can tell you, every once in a while when I go back in there and I start going through all the contacts, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that person, and this person slipped through the cracks, and now I'm picking up the phone. It's like a new lead.
Yeah.
But I would say the biggest thing is, especially if you're going to audit your CRM. Use those reminders, those task reminders, and you get a choice. Do you like to be text messaged or do you like emailed? I like email. So every time I go in there and I make notes in somebody's profile and I'm going to set up a task reminder, I select the date and the time that Wise Agent is going to email me that reminder, and that's how it stays in your face. So awesome. This is a good time to do it.
Totally.
And then the third one is focus on networking. Going back to real estate conversations, I sometimes don't think agents do enough networking. Get out there and networking. And I want to talk about 2 different groups. The first one we'll spend a minute on, Todd, is network with other agents to find out what's working and what's not. I think one of the I'm not gonna say one of the worst things, but for our businesses, one of the worst things with COVID is we all got used to working away from the office, working from home. Obviously, it's a lot more convenient, but I think isolation in this business is the biggest business killer of them all. You need to be with other agents. You need to be talking with other agents and find agents that are more successful than you. I gravitate towards those agents. When I walk into a room and there's top producers, agents that are outperforming me on a regular basis, that's who I gravitate towards because I wanna see what they're doing and what's working for them and what's not working for them.
Yeah, psychology says that, we are who the 10 people that we surround ourselves with are. We become those people. And so if you want to increase your business, find some people that are doing the kind of numbers that you want to do. And let's start creating some relationships and having some conversations with those people. But this is massive because it goes way beyond that. I know this is only one half of where we're at, Mike, with this. But from an agent to agent perspective, I'm going to also challenge you to also talk to your affiliates, the people that you're working with, because they're in a different line of work. So they're approaching the same task that you and I have every single morning, which is where's my next buyer coming from or seller coming from. They have that identical same problem. Anthony over at HCP Home Inspections, he has a problem finding his next one. Sure, he has to go out and find another agent, romance the agent to get their agent. Romance, that's communicate with him, to be able to get them to be able to send him business. Leslie Del Maestro over at American Title, same thing. Every single person you're doing with has the same thing. So expand it beyond real estate. You might find some unique ideas that other realtors aren't doing, but another person is, and you might get that same level of success.
All right, yeah. And Anthony, if you are listening, Todd would like to have a conversation with you later on about romance. So let's see how that
Give me a
works.
call.
Hey, Mike, real quick, back on number one, I know we don't have a lot of time and we probably do a whole hour on this, but when you talk about conversations about real estate, the one thing that we always talked about was the worst thing you could do is when somebody says, "What do you do?" is I'm a real estate agent.
Yeah.
And that's what we fall into all the time. I hear it all the time I'm out with somebody. I'm a real
You
estate
sat
agent.
in front of my trainings.
I probably did. So the one thing I always, when we were marketing and stuff, when we sat down with marketing people, when you do a billboard, you got somebody for 15 seconds or 20 seconds as they drive by. So if they first thing they coach you to do is how to sell your business in a 15 seconds by somebody driving by and looking at it. If everybody would look at their business, because you don't just sell real estate. That's you don't sell real estate at all. You help them through the process, but that's not what you do. But if you think about it, if you take your billboard and you basically customize your billboard to what you do, and then you be your own billboard, that's the best thing you can do for free advertising. You don't have to pay anybody for it. And you can see so many people. We used to have a real estate agent go through a grocery store, and the people come up and say, "How's your day?" And they always ask you, well, hopefully they do, but they always ask you that. And he used to just sit there and say, "Yeah, I'm doing great. I just helped this couple get into a property. It's their first time home." And they just made it everything about the customer. And people are like, "Oh, you sell real estate." But he never said that. But he just told them in an experience of what was happening and how he did it.
And then it's always the next question is how's the market?
How's the market?
Because that's where
It's great.
But I'm saying that's where the conversation goes.
Yep.
And my trick is when I meet somebody, I'm always asking them first what they do for a living because they typically reciprocate that and ask me what I do, and now we're having a conversation about real estate. But to your point, Clint, we have a saying is, and I like that about calling yourself a real estate agent. Nobody wants to talk to a realtor.
Correct.
Nobody does, but everybody wants to talk real estate.
Wants to talk real estate. Yep.
All right. So then going back to now moving on from networking with other agents, find networking events where you can locate people that you can have real estate conversations with, whether it's your kids' ball games or whether a booster club, whether you join an Elks Lodge. I just became a moose, so I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, there's a gazillion different networking events that you can go to and have real estate conversations with people. If you are just focused on, and if all you do is just social media and putting out posts on social media and not actually getting out and having conversations with people, I think you're going to struggle. And I've been working on the last month on my whiteboard in my office above my desk is just of all the different people that I've had these conversations with or brief conversations with, or people going, you know what, I need to move this conversation forward. I'm making that list, and I'm spending the next 2 weeks scheduling, whether it's coffee, breakfast, lunch, probably going to have more happy hours than the first 3, and golf or whatever the case is. And I love golf. And if you don't golf, that's great. There's something about just having somebody out on the golf course for 4.5 hours and have their undivided attention and be able to talk real estate.
Well, their horrible golf game makes real estate look good.
So Mike, you were saying you're a moose now.
Yeah.
Do you know what a male moose is called?
Uh,
Do you know what a female moose is called?
no.
Then
No.
Are you truly a moose then?
I got my application accepted. Thank you, Alyssa Pratt, for making that happen. But I have not. But it's up in Sholo, and so we'll talk about it. But when we do our big event up in the White Mountains, you come up the day before, and I'm going to take you and meet the other moose.
So Clint, trivia-wise, which we don't have to answer, so we'll force everybody to go to the internet. It's the same as what an alligator's male and female are, right?
Yes, it is.
Isn't that crazy? If
I'm not going to tell you how I know this, but
if that doesn't get you to just want to go check it out, how can a male alligator and a male moose have something in common? They do.
Well, Alligators like to eat them.
Yeah. So back online, Mike, with what we're doing about meeting people and getting out. The thing is that I'm going to highly recommend you reach out to one of our coaches in our offices right now. It's the beginning of the year, and I want to make sure I would like you to make sure that you know exactly how few people you really need to meet this month to achieve your goals. So we're talking about keeping it simple, remember? So, it's not a big thing. If you're trying to, you're not trying to let the United States or international or a quarter of the United States know you're a realtor. You're trying to let enough people have enough conversations that allows you to engage with only that specific number that you personally need. And the only way for you to identify that is to meet with someone who knows how to help you achieve that number. And that's what the coaches do. They have a specific spreadsheet. They can put exactly the incomes you want to earn in there, and they can tell you to the lead number how many people you have to meet this week to make that happen.
Yeah, and I'll just end with this: I think technology is fantastic, but technology, whether it's social media, whether it is our CRMs, regardless of the technology is just there to enhance our relationships
Top
with
of mind.
people. And you have to, if you've struggled, I'm telling you, if you struggled in 2025, just go out and meet people, build relationships with them, and have real estate conversations.
Don't try to turn everybody into a client either. Just have some conversation, because it might be their child, their friend. It might be that they're interested in investing. Don't try to get them all excited about moving. Try to get them all excited about real estate.
All righty. Well, that is our 3-pack. All right.